Sports radio. Are you ready? Something brand new, something badass, something crazy, and you will love it. But I'm not going to keep talking about it. Let's go.
Minutes locked and loaded with, like I told you before. SportsCityChefs.com, that is the website, man. I am so focused. I got my brothers here locked and loaded, getting ready to get into these topics, man. And I'm telling you, I got a doozy of a topic to set this one off. And they don't have to do any research. I just want to see how they feel. But let me get them in single file as best as possible. Calling in by way of the state of Alabama, state of the U's own my little brother, if you will, but he's 6'6", so I gotta watch that little tone. We have C Sizzle, aka Chad, in the building. Welcome to the round table. How you feeling this evening?
Man, from what I've heard, I got at least my boots up tight. I'm ready for this first segment here, and all I gotta know is anybody listening, you better get ready. From what I've heard, my big brother is about to bring it. So let's go.
Okay, and last but not least, for now, until the kitchen starts to fill up, you guys know him as Nostradamus, aka Mr. Knight, aka start a whole bunch of trouble, aka brought a whole bunch of lighter fluid and fire to the doggone kitchen, and this is what I got to deal with. But anyway, I'm still pleased to have my big brother here. Chandler, welcome to the round table. How you feeling this evening?
Well, I need to start off Sports City by apologizing to Mrs. Powell because I said something in the green room I shouldn't have said. And with that bowling ball size head son she got, that woman has to be a saint just for having him. So, Mrs. Powell, I am very sorry.
See what I'm talking about, Sports City? I didn't even bring up the topic or reason why, but you already know where this fool went. Look, it's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I try to get over that. You know what I'm saying? I try to just clear my mind. And then people that know me personally know what I'm going through with my mom right now. But it's all right. You know what I'm saying? And then he gonna talk about my head, talking about I got a bowling ball head. Listen. This is why you can't mess with people from Brooklyn. That's what I'm telling you. And I got the nerve to be messing with people from Brooklyn. But anyway, let me get into the show as best as I possibly can. Now, Sports City, sit back in your chair, do whatever you need to do because it's about to get pretty hectic. Because I know I talk a lot of junk about this situation. Let's go, Sports City. I'm not playing around. The first topic I want to go get into is Jerry Rice. That's right. The great, the probably top 3, top 5 NFL player ever comes out and admits that he was cheating while he was playing in the NFL during his stint, saying he used Stickum while he was football. Now, I want to know how you guys feel about this. Now, interesting enough, his legacy is ridiculous. You know, all of the stats that he has, he's basically got everything corralled as him being a receiver in the NFL. But I actually put a post out there saying I'm starting trouble. Everybody, if they don't know me personally, I'm a big Moss fan all day. And I said Moss all day after seeing this, but knowing that Jerry Rice admitted to cheating after everybody was calling out Tom Brady with and the Patriots with all of the cheating going on. And I have some stuff funneling out on top of the Brady and the cheating situation, too. This is going to be very interesting, Sports City, so get your dishes together. But, Chandler, I'm going to come to you first because I told you, I promised you I'd come to you first. Jerry Rice admitting to cheating while he played in the NFL, using Stickum. Now, there was actually one catch I still remember till this day. It was probably the late 80s, early 90s. They were playing the Rams in San Francisco. He had triple coverage. He had 3 dudes chasing him, and he caught the ball with his fingertips while he was tiptoeing the out-of-bounds line. And it was like, what the heck is that? I still remember that catch still to this day. But I don't want to put too much of this against his legacy because Jerry Rice is a legend and he's a great at the wide receiver position. But knowing that he finally might as well say it, finally came out with saying that he actually used an edge while he was on the football field.
You said you had something that was like earth shaking. So what? I don't care. Did he get caught? If he didn't get caught, he wasn't cheating. See, here's the thing, and this is why everybody gives the Patriots grief, because they got caught. Once you retire, you could admit to everything. Gaylord Perry, once he retired, told you exactly how he loaded up every ball. Johnny Bench, once he retired, told you how he used his shin guards to cut the seams on baseballs. See, once you retire, you can tell all the secrets. You can't get caught while you're playing. He never got caught, therefore he never cheated, so I don't care.
Wow. So you very right. Okay, interesting. And maybe I might have gave this thing too many legs, if you will. I thought this was a heavy topic. Well, Chad, your thoughts on Rice coming out and admitting that he cheated while he was playing NFL football? I mean, are you in the same boat as Chandler? Is this surprising? I know it surprised me to hear that Jerry Rice actually came out and made this statement.
It's surprising, yeah. Why he did it, I don't know. But I'm looking at two of his quotes here. I've played in cold weather. I know how hard the football is, and you can grip the ball better if deflated, in parentheses, just a little bit better. And second quote, I know this might be a little illegal, guys, but you put a little spray, a little stickum on them, and make sure the texture's a little sticky. Thing is, not only that, the gloves were used to make the wide receivers catch the ball a little better. Then you go on top of that and spray a little stickum. Yeah, he even admitted it was illegal. I'm kind of confused. I'm going in like 17, 18 different directions right now on this topic because Jerry Rice is one of the greatest. Now, are people going to try to put an asterisk by his name too? I mean, there's more to the story that will come out. You know that. But I don't agree with it. You're a professional athlete. You're paid to do what you do best. And you cheat. Cheating's cheating. I don't care if it's before, after, during. Cheating is cheating. And Jerry Rice, he just went down a couple notches in my book, my friend.
Interesting. And I know I'm going to get all type of backlash to people that download this, especially the post that I put up. But knowing that Rice came out, and I understand where Chandler is coming from, that he got away with it for his entire. It depends on how long Rice was doing it. I hope he wasn't doing it from 84, 85 until he clocked out of the league. So that's one thing. And you know, I hope it's not all 208 of his touchdowns too, because that's what Jerry Rice's record holds right now. But knowing that, I guess if he's trying to deflect some of this attention or talk away from the Patriots or saying that, you know, basically everybody has some type of legit edge in the pro sporting world or in the NFL alone. But for Jerry Rice to come out there and throw that out there is very interesting. And I thought that this was something that I could kind of hit home, if you will, with a notable guy like Jerry Rice and definitely a notable guy like Tom Brady as well. Now, interesting enough, speaking on the cheating incident, if you will, and I don't really, well, it is a lot of stuff that's swirling around this cheating stuff. You have the former 49er / former Dallas Cowboy, Charles Haley, coming out making statements about Brady and his 4 championships, saying that he had to cheat to get his 4 rings. I said, really? So now Charles Haley feels a certain way about Brady accomplishing 4 different championships from 2001 up until this point. I'll come right back to you, Chandler. Your thoughts on this one? Since you didn't give me too much on the Jerry Rice situation, at least Charles Haley calling out Brady on his championships or i.e. Super Bowl wins that he actually won while being a part of the Patriot team.
I don't want to hear from Charles Haley. When Charles Haley can spell the word cheat, then I'll listen to him. This is a guy who got pulled through school and couldn't read. I'm not trying to hear from you, Charles Haley, okay? Learn to spell, then you can talk. See, here's my point with the whole cheating thing. Will Shields just got elected to the Hall of Fame. Has anybody seen him on NFL Network? He's half the size he was. Okay, anybody seen Jeff Saturday on ESPN? He's a third of the size he was. Guys,
yeah, he done lost 40 pounds.
HGH, all kind of crap. All of that is cheating. The Seattle Seahawks secondary, for the past 3 years, all of them have been suspended at one point or another for PEDs. That's cheating. Everybody's cheating. Everybody is. I don't care where it is, when it is, how it is. They're all doing it. The difference is when you get caught, you got to wear it. If you don't get caught, then you know what? You got away with it. But they're all doing it. So no one, when you get caught, yes, I'm going to ban you because you were stupid enough to get caught. But I am not naive enough to think that Jerry Rice wasn't the only guy putting stickum on his gloves. Okay? There's still guys using stickum. There's still guys using PEDs. There are still coaches cheating. You got Ray Farmer texting the sidelines during a game. Okay? You got the Atlanta Falcons piping in fake noise. They're all cheating. So he admitted to something that they're all doing. That's why I said I don't see the big deal. He's just admitting what we all should know by now, is that all of them are cheating. All of them. All of them. All of them are cheating.
Okay, and how do you feel, I mean, moving forward with Haley making this statement now, let alone Brady got caught. Brady did get caught. At least with Spygate. At least with Spygate. I don't really want to talk about the Deflategate because that Deflategate was one game and they beat the crap out of the Colts. It's like whatever with the Colts. The Colts only amounted one touchdown. I don't care if that much air was let out of the ball. They could have at least scored double digits. They didn't even get 2 scores on the board. So I understand the Deflategate situation. Get that out of the way. But at least he got caught with the Spygate. And they actually ended up running the table as much as possible after that, but they still got beat in that Super Bowl. I mean, your thoughts on this before I go to Chad?
I'm trying to figure why only Brady's rings are tainted. Because everybody keeps talking about Tom Brady's rings are tainted. Was he the only guy on that team? The Patriots organization is what's tainted, not Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't holding the camera. Okay? Tom Brady wasn't the guy sitting in his stand where he wasn't supposed to be. So how is it that Tom Brady's rings are tainted, but no one else is it? Like I said at the beginning of it, when Charles Haley can spell cheat, then I'll listen to something he has to say.
See, you have to be that brutal for Charles Haley. Charles Haley, I hope you can spell cheat. Just hope you can spell cheat, man. You can prove this dude wrong, man. That's actually funny. I hope your IQ isn't that bad. Chad, your thoughts on some more drama, if you will, around this Patriot organization, and literally a guy that's getting elected into the Hall of Fame being Charles Haley as of this season, calling out Tom Brady, basically saying that his 4 rings are tainted. Your thoughts on this outside of the things that the Patriots got caught up in?
First thing I'm going to do is agree with Chandler. First thing, everybody is cheating. Absolutely everybody. I mean, the 4 rings, it's hard enough to win 1 Super Bowl, much less as many as Brady has. And to go on what you said, Chandler, about why is everybody looking at Brady, because Brady's the face of the Patriots. I can't stand the guy, for one. He could retire and live off Giselle's salary for the rest of his life if he wanted to. But that's why everybody's looking at him, because he is the face of the New England Patriots. And to go back to Jerry Rice, a quote I also see here, he says, "I'm going to be point blank honest. I feel like it is cheating." He told the host Jim Rome on January 22nd, because you have an edge up on your opponent, and it's unfortunate that it happened. He also says, "I'm not going to say the outcome of the game would have been different or anything like that, because the Indianapolis Colts got beat 45-7 in the AFC Championship game, and the Patriots still had the edge." But as far as Haley, he wasn't the sharpest crayon in the box, but the man did have heart. And I'm going to leave it at that, because I could be a little more brutal than I need to be, but Haley was an athlete, and that's all he had. Just like Sean Taylor said, if it wasn't for football, I would have nothing. But Sean Taylor started turning his life around. That's a story for another day before what happened to him. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor. But everybody is cheating. For the reason that Jerry came out and admitted it, I'll never know why, because people are going to look at him differently now. People will put an asterisk by his name. And PEDs, human growth hormones, steroids, all of these things, all you have in your life is time. You take time away, which we're only granted so much, your life is chaos. There would be no order if there was no time. So take advantage of all the time you have, and all this cheating, all the steroids, all the PEDs are shortening your lifespan. And what happens if you use these PEDs, you end up tearing your knee out, and after 1 year, what does that accomplish? Karma's a bitch, and that's all that's going to happen is if you cheat, eventually you got to meet up with karma. I've met her once or twice in my life, and I never want to see her again.
Okay, and interesting enough, Haley has 5 Super Bowl wins altogether. Brady has 4. So I understand why he's, I guess, putting his conversation out there. And this is going to raise some eyebrows, if you will, at the end of the day. And, I'm going to just speak from my perspective. I know I'm a little frustrated on how things may have ended in that Super Bowl, but that's the way the Seahawks wanted to go. They wanted to throw the ball at the 1-yard line. So Butler made a heck of a play, and that actually puts Brady in the discussion of being atop the NFL elite all-time quarterbacks with, 4 Super Bowl wins. Him, Montana, and Bradshaw are the only quarterbacks to do so. But I kind of understand where Chandler's coming from. If these guys are out there getting an edge and not getting caught, I guess you have to look at it kind of like, so be it. Even though you may be frustrated that your team isn't trying to go out there and do it, and they're doing it by the right way or the right guidelines, if you will. But, that 2008 season when they got caught with the Spygate is 7 years ago. That's so long ago, And also, Deflategate, that wasn't the Super Bowl, and if the Colts were in the game, I could see if the Colts were down a score and the balls were flat, and they actually rechecked the balls at halftime, made sure everything was all right. And that's when Brady and them initially turned it on and ended up really throttling them. So I definitely wanted to get that out there. At least 2 legends from the 49er, well, half of that for Haley. He was actually part of the Cowboy organization as well. But 2 legends speaking out coming from the Niner organization. I had to get that out there, that they legitly came out with a statement around cheating. One way or another, Jerry Rice actually admitted to it. I'm glad he didn't, have any HGH or, steroid use, whatever. But at least the Stickum gave him some edge in some of those games. And we all know the career that Jerry had, and Charles Haley did it by the book, so he's actually calling Brady out. So I actually want to see how Brady responds to this, because that was actually somebody that Brady looked up to, because Brady was a Niner fan when he was growing up, too. So knowing that this statement will probably come from Brady probably in a day or so, he probably could care less. He's probably in Disney World like the rest of the Patriot team is, or probably enjoying his time with Giselle. Who knows? But
see, my closing topic on this part right here, if you want an edge over your opponent, you train harder than your opponents. You push yourself to your limits, and then you push yourself farther. That's how you get a true edge. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, Chandler, anything you'd like to say before we get away from it?
Let me just say this with Charles Haley. I love Charles Haley as a player, but Charles Haley's had 5 rings for years, okay, double-digit years, and I haven't heard a peep out of him. So don't wait until you get elected to the Hall of Fame to say something. Those 5 rings gave you the ability to say something years ago, but you had nothing to say. So I don't want to hear from you now. You see, Charles Haley was nowhere to be heard when all of this started years ago with the whole Spygate thing. So I don't want to hear from you now that you think, I'm a Hall of Famer, now I can talk. If you're going to talk, talk. Don't wait till you get a yellow jacket on. So I say again, shut up.
Okay. Sports City, the next topic that I'm going to get into, I know we don't talk about this a lot, but I'm feeling some type of way. I am feeling some type of way. And the truth of the matter is, 2 words, Tiger Woods. Now, how bad he has been playing as of recent, and he just pulled himself out of the last tournament that's going on right now. Do we think that Tiger can actually get back to, the middle of the pack? I don't even want to say the top of the leaderboard, if you will, while being a part of the tour, but he came back trying to fight all of the injuries, and, I don't really want to call him how I feel significantly, but I really look toward the face of karma and say, boy, you are one tough little girl. And if I wasn't on air, I'd have said something crazy. But everything that swirls around him, stirring that stuff up around his father, and, ever since him and his, his former wife, Ellen, got into that situation outside of Thanksgiving, he hasn't really been himself. And he had a couple of wins in 2013. 2014 was injury-riddled. He actually pulled himself out, had some surgery, and he finally had one of the worst rounds in his career. Now, this is why it bothers me, because I know if we were out there trying to contest Tiger, Tiger would tear us up trying to get on the green with him and make us look foolish. But while he's a part of the tour going up against everybody on the field, he does not look like himself, and he is he's approaching 40, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if he'll get that swagger back. I mean, he's not getting any younger. I do want to throw this one around. Chill, I'll come to you first on Tiger Woods and everything that's going on with his play declining. Do we think he'll actually, start to increase his play, start to threaten the field? Will he be in the middle of the pack at some time, or will he just start making surprises here and there?
I think Tiger's going to be fine. I think that this is the people who hate Tiger, the people who weren't able to beat him, these PGA Tour reporters who wouldn't have jobs if it weren't for him. And yes, I'm talking you, Tom Rinaldi, are now taking the opportunity to try to put him down because he's dominated the tour for so long. He has a bad back. He's about to turn 40, which means that he's going to have to make some adjustments to Father Time and to just his body. It's hard when your body doesn't do what it used to be able to do. It's hard mentally to wrap your mind around that because you're used to being able to do certain things. Your body just says, no, I'm not doing it today. I'm not doing it. I had to go get an x-ray today on my lower back. She asked me to turn over on my side. It took me 5 minutes, okay? There was a time I would have just popped right over. Now it takes me 5 minutes. It's a whole production. I got to get my elbow right. I got to get away. I got to take a deep breath. I got to do all of that. Okay, this man plays world-class golf. I can't imagine what he has to do when his back isn't working right. So I'm not worried about Tiger. He's going to break Nicklaus's record, and even if he doesn't, he is still the greatest golfer that I personally think golf has ever seen.
And what is it? I think he needs 2 more majors to tie him, if I'm not mistaken, right? To tie up Jack Nicklaus, right?
No, he needs 4. I think he's got 14. He needs 4 to tie, 5 to break it. I think.
Okay. And notably, a lot of these golfers play, primetime golf up until their late 40s, 50s, and then they start to, be a part of the senior part of the tour, which, I don't even want to look that far down the road. I'm just hoping that he can get his swagger back and at least start to, win here and there. I don't want to, think of the Tiger from 98, 99, 2000 when he just dominated golf, and it was like every time he stepped on a green, people were just intimidated. I just want to see him just, press these guys, and he's not even in the discussion any longer. But as of now, I can't say any longer. He's still in the discussion, but he's not threatening these guys, especially with his recent play. Chad, your thoughts on Tiger? Do you think he'll be back to the strong, relevant conversation that we are used to seeing Tiger get out there and do damage to the field?
Not unless he changes his game. One, his lower back issues, but the reason, his quote for why he pulled out was about as bad as Al Golden say when we played too many night games. His quote was, his glutes are not activating. His ass is not activating. He could have used different verbiage and saying my sciatic nerve damage is the problem with that. But his quote was, it's just my glutes are shutting off. They don't activate. And then hence it goes into my lower back. So I try to activate my glutes the best I can, and in between they just never stayed activated. So unless he changes his game tremendously, I don't see him breaking Nicklaus's record. Right now, I don't see it at all. Unless he takes more time off to get himself better, doing the right training he needs to be doing, but to say the reason he pulled out was because his ass wasn't activating, that's absurd. I mean, unless he changes his game, changes his swing, and anybody that's ever played golf or even tried to hit a golf ball off a tee that knows how hard that can actually be, as much time as he's had off, it's going to be a very difficult road to climb. It's like going to hell in a wooden rowboat with no paddle and having to fight your way back. It's going to be very difficult for him, but he's got to change a lot of things about his game. The reason he's having to pull out of this is because he's really not changing his game too much, trying to do the same thing over and over again, and he's not getting the same results. But unless he changes his game, Tiger Woods is not going to beat Jack Nicklaus's record at all. His body's not going to let it, especially getting on up in age. His body will not let him.
And I'm wondering if it's his putting coach, because that's the one thing that they're looking at significantly, is that he's not been able to get on the green and more or less been able to putt well. He's been getting a lot of bogeys, double bogeys. You'll see him get his birdies here or there. He might get an eagle, but he's been struggling to stay at least par or better as of recent times of him being out there. So it's going to be tough. Either if it's 2 or 4 to tie, however it is, I'll just say worst case scenario, if he needs 4 to tie within a 10-year span. Okay, so it is 4. In a 10-year span, I'm hoping he can get there. I'm hoping he can at least get the 5 to accomplish the feat, because I just don't want to see this much talent go to waste. And we're all going to just counter back to what happened, what was that, 2012, 2011, where, Ellen came out and went crazy on his Escalade, so on and so forth, after, looking at his cell phone, so on and so forth. But that's where everything started to go on a decline for Tiger Woods. So I'm hoping that he can get better, get out there, work on his short game, because that's the one thing. Tiger can still hit the ball a mile. Even though he's been, in the bunker a couple times, he is still one of the guys that's best to do it, to drive the ball, if you will. But his short game is
away from that. He's going to have to get away from that. He's going to have to focus more on his irons and not driving the ball 375 to 425 yards, because that puts too much pressure on the lower back, puts too much pressure on your hip flexors, your abductors, and your sciatic nerve, which is what he is having a problem with. Not his ass, his sciatic nerve. He's going to have, that's what I mean by changing his game. Not focusing on driving the ball too hard. Focus more on your irons and your short game. That's the only way he's going to be able to beat Jack Nicklaus's records and actually make it through 18 holes.
Okay, Chandler, do you agree? Is there anything that you'd like to address before we get away from Tiger Woods?
No, I think Tiger's going to be fine. I think he'll make the adjustments he needs to make. I'm not worried about him. I mean, like I said, it's a matter of learning how his body now operates and making the adjustments, and he'll make the adjustments.
Okay.
I hope he does.
Sports City, the next topic I want to jump into, I know that this is one of those, you kind of wave your hand at this situation, but it has been, making strong wavelengths, if you will, throughout the NBA, and that's Chris Paul in this recent matchup up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he got a technical foul from a female referee. And not only have, the Clippers organization and Doc Rivers come out and spoken on behalf of Chris Paul, but you also have the Player Association also speaking on behalf of Chris Paul as well. And, as of today, Chris Paul kind of tried to, shut it down as he best could without trying to get the media to stir this one up, because that's what the media is waiting for. Anything that he could say for, Adam Silver or anybody that, holds some weight to kind of throw a fine at him, which I think he may end up potentially seeing a fine anyway. Taylor, how about you? How do you feel about this incident, if you will, that's swirling around Chris Paul on an inbound where they tried to rush the referee to get the ball in play? She gave him a technical foul, and it kind of caught them by the wayside, even though the Clippers were getting rolled on real bad last night. Your thoughts on Chris Paul and the incident that happened last night?
First off, it's a rookie referee on a nationally televised game who started giving out technicals that had no merit. The announcer during the game spoke of the fact that this was a rookie referee who obviously was feeling her oats. Now, see, what bothers me about this, and if I were Chris Paul, I would never, ever give another interview to ESPN, because they're the ones that started this nonsense. It was a female ref, so he said her. Was he supposed to say it? Well, how was he supposed to say it? It's a her. If it was a him, he would have said him. So it was a her. Oh, well, because it's a her, you can't say her. So exactly what was he supposed to call her? I'm curious. I would love for somebody to tell me what he was supposed to call her. Because I've heard many a coach and player say about male rookie referees who wind up teaming them up and say, you know what, maybe this ain't the place for him because he's obviously overmatched because he gave us all those technicals. We've heard that for years in the NBA. So, or is it because she's a woman, he's not supposed to criticize her? So you're not allowed to criticize the female officials? Well, isn't that in of itself degrading and minimizing them because you can't criticize them? He treated her like he would treat any other official. He said the tech was nonsense. I don't know what the hell she's doing, and she's a rookie, and she shouldn't be here because she's a rookie and don't know what she's doing. He didn't say she shouldn't be here because she's a woman. He said she's a rookie ref, don't know what the hell she's doing. I don't have a problem with it. But when he said her, exactly how was he supposed to describe the person he was talking about? That's all I want to know. So this is basically a tempest in a teapot that's being blown up because, God forbid, in this PC, don't hurt anybody's feelings society, God forbid you criticize somebody. We know that there are not that many female officials. Matter of fact, Violet Palmer, when she first started officiating, okay, one of the things she said when she finally got criticized publicly by one of the players, you know what she said? She said, good, because now I know that they treat me just like everybody else. But apparently we can't criticize this particular female official. Why is that?
I don't know. It's interesting enough. I think it was more frustration that they were trying to get back into the game, and I think that kind of took even more of the wind out of themselves. Do you know and not to kind of, help her out in the situation, the Clippers lead the league in technical fouls this year. They have over 50 as a team mounted, getting tech. But regardless of the situation, Chris Paul being not only one of the notable guys that represents the NBA and knowing how the media loves to put a camera or, a recorder or a microphone in his face to wait to hear the next thing that he has to say, he's been put in a bad situation. But, Chad, your thoughts on Chris Paul's recent incident that just happened in Cleveland last night?
My thing is, Chandler hit the point dead on the head. You're an NBA official. You earn the job. You're going to get criticized just like the men. It's not the fact of him or her. This is not a sexist or sexist comment at all. I mean, she's a female official in the NBA. She made a call she thought was right, and quit belly aching. They do have more technical fouls. They were trying to get back into the game, and she made a call she thought was right. She earned her position. She also has to deal with the criticism that comes with it. I mean, take it on the chin, move forward. And just like Chandler said, when the official, I can't remember her name that you had just mentioned, when she was criticized, almost happy because they looked at her just like the rest of the other officials. It's just like being a female football player, a female kicker. You're going to get hit, you're going to get knocked down. The thing about it is, get back up, take your criticism, learn from it, and do what you got to do. This is not a sexism case. This is not just because she's a woman. She's an NBA official. She made the call she thought was right. Don't do any belly aching. Do what you got to do to win the game. And if they would have been doing what they should have been doing all night, they wouldn't have been in the position they were in.
And Chad, let's not discount the fact that this is what they do to all rookie refs. They call them out publicly. They jump on them in the game. You know why? To see if they can intimidate them. To see if it gets under their skin. To see if maybe the next game this referee works. They don't call those technicals that they called the last game. Part of that is gamesmanship. We've seen them do it to male referees for years. So my question again for ESPN and all the people who are stirring this up is why is this particular referee exempt from what other referees have to go through, male and female?
She shouldn't. She's an NBA referee. She's available to all the criticism all the other referees are. I mean, she wanted the job. She got the job. She's got to deal with the criticism and the comments that come with it. And I hope she comes back and does well. I hope she doesn't crush under pressure. Because if not, she's going to get picked on her entire career, no matter how long it is.
But notably, these referees go for about 25, 26 years. So she's got a long stint going unless they literally scare her out of the league, which I don't think will happen. But her name is Lauren Holt. Her name is Lauren Holtkamp, and hopefully they get past this. And I know Chris Paul is going to have to watch what he says, especially within the next week or so, because they're going to keep people in front of him to wait to see if he says the wrong thing at the end of the day. Speaking of which, of this game where she was actually a referee, the Cleveland Cavaliers are now off to a 12-game winning streak with Kyrie having to shoulder most of this load while LeBron was out, and the questions that loomed around Kevin Love, if he is the guy that they needed to pick up. Well, Kevin Love had a good start, if you will, to help this Cavaliers team get off to an early lead, and that lead ballooned to over 30 points. One, I want to hear how you guys feel about Cleveland and the streak that they're on right now. And two, what's going on in L.A.? And I'm not even talking about the Lakers. I'm leaving purple and gold alone. I'm talking about the red, white, and blue. Chill, I come to you first. Your thoughts on both teams. I don't even know where you want to go. If you want to go bad or good second or good or bad, however you want to pan it out, let's do it.
I'll start with the Clippers. This is another example, as we've seen the past couple of seasons, regardless of who the coach is with this squad, that when they're supposed to do well, they don't. This team seems to crumble under the weight of expectations. Coming into the season, who did we say probably should have been the number one or number two team in the Western Conference, given everything that happened? We were talking Thunder and Clippers. Because we all figured the Spurs would be around 3 or 4 or 5 like they always are, because they're the Spurs. You know, it doesn't really matter where they are. They'll make the playoffs. We all know that. You know, you can set your clock to it. Spurs are going to make the playoffs. They'll be around the 4th or 5th seed. You know, it is what it is with the Spurs. But everybody was saying the Clippers should have been 1 or 2. They're in the middle of the pack. As you said, they're getting more technicals than, you know, a AAU team. Okay? It goes to how mentally weak this team is. That's what it says to me, that this team is mentally weak, and we're seeing the result of that. As far as Cleveland, I'm still not a believer.
Okay. So you don't believe in Cleveland? Okay. All right, Chad, how about you? Your thoughts on both of these teams, whether the Cleveland Cavaliers and their 12-game winning streak that they're on to right now, and interesting enough, LeBron said, I'd love to work coming off the bench. I was like, cut it out. You can't be noted as the best player in the league trying to come off the bench. And also, what's going on with the Clippers? I mean, they have a 2-game losing streak. It's nothing too big. I mean, we've seen worse. And I know the Los Angeles Clippers have seen extreme losing streaks, but not with this organization, how they have it panned out right now. But where do they look from here? However you want to start it up. If you want to go Cleveland first or Clippers first, have at it.
I'm going to start off with the Cavs first. The first thing I want to mention about the winning streaks is that LeBron James has been a part of the longest winning streaks since 2009, with the Cavaliers at 13, with the Cavaliers 13 again, then with the Heat with 12, then with the Heat with 27, now with the Cavs with 12. LeBron James has been a part of some of the longest winning streaks, and him talking about wanting to come off the bench, that's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. I'm not like Chandler. I'm not a huge believer in the Cavs, but because right now they're depending on 2 people, Love and James. I mean, they combined for over what was it, 42 points in the last win. They scored almost half the team's points. I mean, when you depend on 2 people, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work when you depend on 2 people. It takes an entire team. The Clippers, they are on the 2-game losing streak. They'll bounce back. I mean, you can't win them all. In any professional sport, 98% of the time you're not going to win them all, especially in basketball. Football, it can happen. But I'm not a believer in the Cavs when you're relying on 2 people, in Kevin Love and LeBron James. I do believe the Clippers will bounce back, and they're going to come out ahead by the end of the season in their conference.
Don't forget about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a monster in his own right too. Just saying. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're rolling right now, especially with getting LeBron back, and once he gets his legs underneath him and getting acclimated to what's going on around him, that's going to be a sight to see. That they actually have put a couple of posts up saying that they're looking scary at this moment and starting to hit their stride right before the All-Star weekend, which actually takes place next Sunday, not this Sunday. So I definitely want to see how they look, after the time off, if you will. And LeBron getting a good amount of rest as well while they come into this final stretch, especially in the Eastern Conference, where literally I don't know who wants to sit atop the conference, which I'm actually going to get into that in a little bit as well. But the Clippers, I don't know, man. This is the tough point that I sit with, is that Doc Rivers is a respectable coach. He gets a lot out of these players, but they'll sometimes slip up, and it's like how, especially with something that me and Chandler had hit on yesterday, the core players that they have in the organization, it's like, what's going on with, guys like DeAndre Jordan, who was in a discussion on possibly being an all-star this year. Blake Griffin, who's an all-star. You got Chris Paul, who's an all-star. You got Jamal Crawford, who's probably one of the better shooting, bench players coming off the bench. You got Matt Barnes, who could shoot as well and play good defense. I mean, they have a good, legit core and have questionability, throughout stints in their season or year after year. There hasn't been a heavy consistency from this Clippers team. Now, it's not like you can overlook them because they're going to be a tough out regardless once it gets to playoff time. But right now, these games that they could actually at least be in a discussion on winning these games or making a critical push going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers team while they're on the road, losing as significantly as they did last night. That score that you see with them losing by, 11 points, is not how that score should have panned out. You've seen the Clippers score a ton of points late in that game where the Cavs are just trying to basically run that clock out. So I don't know. Doc is going to have to get this team turned around. I know he could instill defense, but that's one thing that they do lack in their defensive effort, and all they want to do is more or less get on the offensive side and throw that ball up and keep conducing Lob City, as we're noting to them consistently. Well, the other topic I want to get to before I let another caller in the kitchen, because I know there's a significant topic that the caller wanted to talk about, but the game of the night, if you will, the best team on the West Coast is coming to the East Coast in the state of Georgia to play the best team on the East Coast up against those Atlanta Hawks, who have actually been playing some great basketball, if you will. But the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr coach team, is going into the Phillips Arena down there in Georgia to try and steal a win up against the extremely hot Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to come to you first again, Chandler. Your thoughts on this topic? Which way do you feel this game going? Who to watch out for? Things like that. If you want to add anything extra to it as well, please have at it.
This is a game that I wanted to see, which apparently I'm not going to get to see because I guess it's not going to be on ESPN. I think this is going to be a great game. I really, really do. I think this is more of a statement game for Atlanta than it is for Golden State, to be quite honest with you. I think Atlanta has more to prove than Golden State does. Golden State, I think they're a little more battle-tested than Atlanta. In my mind, I'm not sure about I'm still not a Steve Kerr fan, but listen, he hasn't screwed it up. He came into a team with high expectations, and that team has taken off. So whatever he's doing is working. But I think this is more about what Atlanta's going to do more so than Golden State. This is another game. And let's keep in mind, Atlanta has beaten all of the Western Conference superpowers. They've beaten them. But at this stage of the game, it's getting close to the All-Star break. This is when, guys start reading all the press clippings and believing it because you're doing so well. In my mind, this is more of a statement game for Atlanta than it is for Golden State. But I do think Atlanta's going to take this game.
Okay, Chad, how about you? How do you feel about this game going down there? And, you're actually both of you are a state away from it. Chandler's in South Carolina, and he's in Alabama. So both of you right there by the state of Georgia. Your thoughts on this epic matchup where Steph Curry is going head-to-head with Jeff Teague? I mean, there's a lot of matchups in this game that you got to watch out for, and who's going to have the electric shooting for tonight? Will it be Kyle Korver? Will it be Curry? Will it be Thompson? There's a lot of things to watch out for in this matchup. But your thoughts on this one, Chad?
I believe I'm gonna go with Chandler on this one. I do believe the Hawks are gonna pull it out. It is gonna be a great game. Good matchups all around. With Stephen Curry dropping 51 points against the Mavericks, Curry is already hyped up. My opinion on this game is whoever plays the best defense is going to pull it off, and I do believe the Hawks are going to play the better defense, and they're on a roll. I just think with the Hawks, the way they've been playing, the game comes down to ideologies. I mean, coaching, who's going to step up, make the big play. It's going to come down to the last couple minutes of the game, and I believe the Atlanta Hawks are going to pull it out. I mean, they've got a lot to prove still, even what they've gone through this year with the winning streaks and all, and how they've been playing. I just believe the Hawks are going to step it up. It's just
this is a very tough.
It's a tough
go ahead,
one.
Chad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, this is going to be a tough one, but it all comes down to the ideologies of the coaches and the players. Who's stepping up, and I believe the Hawks are going to step it up and go above and beyond what they're supposed to do tonight.
This is a very tough game to call. I don't know which way to go because Atlanta has been playing extremely well while they've been at home in Georgia. And let's be honest, you don't know what you're going to get out of Golden State. If they're going to sit up there and beat you by 20 or keep it close and pull away and go up by 10 late in the fourth quarter. So this is going to be one of those exciting games that you have to watch to the finish. Well, there's an interesting topic that I want to have Chad start up because he actually let me know what was going on, especially with the Hurricanes, if you will. And we have another notable caller here that has been coming to Sports City and been getting his fill, loving these dishes that's been going around. The one that has been actually defending us, man, I love to show my gratitude to this guy. Logan, welcome to the roundtable. How are you feeling this evening?
Good. I'm actually on my way to the racetrack, but call in for a little bit, talk to you guys.
Okay,
Thank
now
you
there
for
was
calling in, Logan.
There was a topic that Chad wanted to spark up, and I wanted to see how you guys felt about it because I know that this was something that Logan wanted to talk about, is to get the Kane talk out there. But the defensive line coach, Coach Franklin, is headed to the NFL to help, and people buckle up because I'm getting sick to my stomach on this one, to go help the Oakland Raiders. Now I'm wishing him the best because you know how the Raiders have struggled, but they have some very interesting pieces on that roster. Hopefully he can get them to turn this thing around in a very tough division, being the AFC West. Chad, I'll let you spark this one up and throw this one around. I know this is something that Logan wanted to speak on as well.
Well, first and foremost, Franklin's coached in the NFL. He's previously been the defensive line coach with the Packers, the Buccaneers, and the Texans. He's also coached with USC. And if I'm not mistaken, taking a jump here, isn't Oakland Franklin's hometown? Yeah, and that's I think he's wanting to go back to his hometown. I think this could be a great thing for the University of Miami, getting away from that scheme that they're trying to run, and that's been abysmal this past year. And Chicolo made it apparent after the Shrine game that he finally had the opportunity to play the position he needed to be playing, and everybody saw what he did at the Shrine game. Had a hell of a game. But Franklin going to the NFL could be a great thing for the University of Miami. But it all boils down to Golden's defense, because that's what it was this entire year. I'm interested, however, to see who's going to be brought in. I've been looking all day to see who's going to take his place, and I haven't seen any remarks yet. They're keeping it quiet. But the main thing about it is everybody's scrutinized. But since the 2012 season, They were ranked 120th in one total defense in 2012, averaging 486 yards per game. In 2013, they topped more than 500 yards per game. Now, this past season, they did a little bit better and ranked 14th nationally, but still gave up a lot of yards. And one of the things, Golden made a statement. Said he could not be happier for Jethro and his family. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work there. He grew up, and now he grew up there and joined his father and family in Oakland. And he thanks him for all that he's done, but the departure came as a surprise to at least one of the players. And it was the Cardinal Gibbons defensive line, Richard McIntosh, who played with Miami on Wednesday. It's a tough move. There's going to be a lot of transition with coaching and position coaches at the University of Miami coming up. Everything is being held quiet as of right now. But I think Franklin going to Oakland could be a good thing for the University of Miami.
Okay, Logan, now that you're here, and your favorite chef is in the building too, so I don't know if you guys start going crazy again like you normally do while you're here, but your thoughts on Franklin going to the NFL to help the Oakland Raiders out?
I honestly don't think it's a big loss. I mean, like Chad was saying with Chicolo and his performance that he had in the game, the bowl, you know, the reason Chicolo really fell off at Miami, and really everyone thinks that because the reason he fell off was just because it's Chicolo, and it wasn't, because he was a beast in high school and he played defensive end, and when he came to Miami, you know, I think it was the first 2 years he played defensive end, he was damn good with us, and then y'all didn't notice he's been nose guard. And, you know, that's not even a damn right matchup for him. Playing against a center, and at that, he was always getting double teamed, man. I mean, my opinion, our line hasn't even been good. I mean, we never ever got pressure on anybody. We can never get pressure. So honestly, I'm not bothered by him leaving. You know, see you later, on to the next, pretty much, because like I said, the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s Miami defensive line. Not even close.
Exactly. And Chicolo had, 4 sacks his senior year? Because of where they had him?
Exactly. And, like, I understand everyone saying it is Golden's defense, but who, come on, man. I understand that, and by no means, I don't support Golden. I mean, I do in a sense, he coached Miami, but at the same time, it's like, you have a defensive line coach, you have a defensive coordinator, you have all that for a reason. I understand that it lies on Golden because he has not made the changes, whether it's to the staff or to the personnel itself. But at the same time, you have the coaches there that are making those calls. I don't ever sit back and, don't get me wrong, sometimes when I'm watching us get killed, I sit there and damn near want to toss my TV out the window while I'm cursing Golden out. But, when you really sit back and look at it, everyone plays a role in the game as far as players, fans, and coaches. And everyone has been slacking in those roles. Bad. And that's why we had the season we had, and we've had the seasons we've had. Plain and simple.
Okay, Chandler, is there anything that you'd like to add? I know you're not the biggest Kane supporter, but your thoughts on Franklin leaving for the NFL. Chandler, are you there?
Sorry, I forgot I had it muted. Sorry, I had it muted. As far as the Raiders go, it's just another bad hire. They hired Jack Del Rio. The coaching staff he's putting together is garbage outside of Bill Callahan. It's the Raiders being the Raiders. Let's go hire a college coach who ain't that good in college because he'll be better in the pros. Okay, you can't coach defense in college. How the hell you going to coach it in the NFL? I'm not the biggest Miami fan or whatever, but, I do follow that school because it's one of the schools that I tend to root against. It was the time I rooted for Miami. Mike Irvin was there. And I'm not a fan of Al Golden. And I said to you multiple times, Ty, where I was watching a Miami game, and I texted you and asked you, what the hell is your coach doing? You know, so I agree with Chad. I think it's something that actually in the long run will benefit the University of Miami if Al Golden makes the right hire to replace him. I think it's something that ultimately can benefit them, because if he doesn't, then that just accelerates them moving him on out and getting another coach in there, because I personally don't like Al Golden as a coach. I think, let me say it differently. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's a good coach for that university.
He's not a Miami coach.
Right.
In my opinion, Al Golden would make a better athletic director than anything else as far as a football team. I mean, when it comes to X's and O's, he's not a game day coach. He's not. When it came to X's and O's, Jimmy Johnson, Snellenberger, those guys knew X's and O's. They know where to put their players. They put their players in the best position to do what they did best. They told them to go out there, have fun, win the game. As talking with past players, Kelvin Harris, Charles Fongs III, the Grim Reaper, they depended on each other. There was a thing that was on the top of Jimmy's board on all of his comments in the locker room. It said, "Can I trust you?" Back then, the players trusted each other. They would run over each other. If their teammates were not giving it all to get to the ball on defense, they would run over their teammates just to get to the ball. The game tackling hasn't been there as of late. And it all comes down to the players, leaving it all out on the field, putting everything you have out there. You've got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play at the University of Alabama. Do your best, train harder than your opponents, push yourself to your limits, and then push yourself farther.
Well, I think, for me, Al Golden is similar to Brady Hoke. I think Brady Hoke is a good coach. He's a good man. I think Al Golden is a good man, a good coach. I don't think he's a good coach for that university.
He doesn't he doesn't know how to coach South Florida talent.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I liken him to Brady Hoke. You take a Brady Hoke and you put him at, say, a Central Michigan, a Bowling Green. You take an Al Golden and put him at, say, an Illinois, a team like that. You put him somewhere where there's not the pressure that comes with being a coach at the University of Miami. I think he'd be successful. I don't think he's a coach for a big-time program. And whether Miami haters like to admit it or not, the University of Miami is still a major college program. It is still one of the cornerstone programs. It's still a program that people who don't follow college football know about. So you need a coach who can handle the pressure of coaching there, and I don't think he is.
No, and we've got to find a coach who has ties to the university, who's not worried strictly about money. Because we're not going to be able to pay a coach more than $2.3 million a year. Right now, Golden's making $2.1. We're not going to be able to pay the coach what the SEC is paying, what Texas is paying their coaches. We're not going to be able to do that. There's so many coaches that have played at the University of Miami that are now coaching in high school in Central and South Florida. That's where our position coaches need to come from. I've said it before. Ice Harris needs to have a bigger role. There's too much talent in coaching in Florida, Central and South Florida, not to pull our position coaches from there and let the position coaches run their position players.
Well, Chad, I got a question for you. Do you know how many South Florida recruits we picked up?
No, I didn't even that signing day thing. I don't even get into that signing day thing because I think it's ridiculous. Personally,
No,
I think that
I believe when I looked at the breakdown yesterday, I believe we got 9 recruits from South Florida.
Yep. No said.
9 recruits from South Florida. But when I was on the show the other day talking to the recruits came on. They said they're coming to Miami to win. I'm talking Bar Milo, Hayden Mahoney, Tyree St. Louis, Lawrence Kager. Those are the guys that we had on the show, and they all had the same concept. They're coming to the University of Miami to win. They're already used to winning. I don't think these guys that are used to winning are going to sit down and continue to lose. I mean, we've had three losing seasons in 3 decades. It's just not going to happen. Not with the talent that we have. You put the players in the position to do what they do best And that's the bottom line.
Yeah, another thing about recruiting, too, is this is what I always use as, it's not an excuse. I mean, I don't ever, how many stars a player has, sure, maybe they're pretty good, but, Ray Lewis came into Miami, unheard of coming to Miami. Look at what he did with the University of Miami and what he did in the NFL. It all comes down sometimes to coaching. It's a very balanced beam. It depends on the player and it also depends on the coach. It's never one or the other. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll jump topic, but, like when I was watching the Georgia Tech game and just how bad we were playing off the ball, that was pissing me off pretty bad because we were so deep off the ball, and they didn't even throw the ball, but what? I think 3 times or 7 times, I don't know, but that was driving me nuts. Stuff like that is just, and then the thing with teams that I always notice is there's always an excuse. There's always an excuse for a loss. Every time I can sit there and, here comes the post conference. I bet, and I'll sit there and say exactly what the players or the coaches are going to say before they even say it, because I see it every year. It's the same damn thing.
And you're right. Going back to what you were talking about, stars, and I said it the other day at the Senior Bowl. The Miami players that played, they were 0 stars, 1 star, 2 star, and the highest star player that was at the Senior Bowl was Denzel Perryman. It was a 3-star player when he came into school. They all led the players in their position. So, Swayze, these guys, they are producing the talent. But when it comes to game day, they're not being put in the position they need to be put in.
I got a question for you guys. Now, I always remember that the University of Miami, there's certain families that you always see at certain schools on the football team, be it cousins, nephews, whatever. With Miami, it was the Blades. It was a couple of families that there was always a player from that family on the University of Miami. There's none of that anymore. Why is that?
It's starting to come back. Pageant is going to be a 3rd-generation Hurricane. But you're right. They're not.
The Chicolo family. You just had the Chicolo family too.
The Chicolo family. One of the things that confuses the hell out of me is Walter Tucker's brother right now is committed to Florida State, and that baffles me. He's one hell of a defensive linebacker, and he's committed to Florida State right now. Yeah, he's still got 2 more years, but that needs to come back. You're right, Chandler. We need to get that back. It hadn't been happening as often as it used to, and we need to start seeing that come back.
Okay.
One, I believe it's because of the fans, and 2, the coaching.
I think we might have waken up the state of Florida because Florida has just gotten here, calling in from the 407 area code. Welcome to the roundtable. What's your name and what's on your mind tonight?
Dennis, I'm actually Maddie's son, or Maddie's father. Sorry about that. I've been listening to it a little bit because I'm in the middle of doing something, but I blame a little bit on the talent, but I blame most of it on the coaching, and the vast majority of it on the people that are up even higher than that won't pay the money to get the coaches to develop these kids. Perryman did develop some, but you got to look at the flip side of it too. We've got Tracy Howards on the team that are highly recruited that ain't even seeing the field right now because they're not being coached. We've had people go into the NFL and just do outstanding that didn't do squat in college, and that's all coaching. It's a bunch of everything. It's all coming together. I'm actually a fan of Golden up until this year because he won't change the defensive scheme, and it's his fault. He's the head coach. It doesn't matter if D'Onofrio is his friend or not. The 3-4 is not going to work with us until they completely change how we actually put players on the field because Florida and South Florida, most of your linebackers, they're smaller and they're faster. And that's not going to do it for the 3-4. They totally wrecked Chicolo's career. Completely wrecked it. That's all they did. That's all that defense did was wreck his career and cost him money.
Okay, so
until all this changes. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Matty, your thoughts on Coach Franklin going to the NFL, and you're not too thrilled with the coaching staff as it was in South Florida with the Canes. I mean, do you think he can go to the Oakland Raiders and help them excel especially with the pieces that he had there. He has like Justin Tuck. He has some notable names there that I don't know if he can help inspire them, see how much juice they have left in the tank. But your thoughts with a coach of his caliber, actually, there's something that Chad hit on, him going back home, that probably will help lift his spirits also.
Jethro Franklin left, our defensive coach. That's
Jethro
awesome.
Franklin has just left the University of Miami to go coach the defensive line at the Oakland Raiders.
Well, I feel bad for Oakland. Oh, they're bad anyway. So it don't matter.
Oh, really? Really?
I'm no fan of
That's
Franklin.
bad.
Yeah, I'm no fan of Franklin's at all. Not at all.
I think the reason they're hiring Franklin is because he does have NFL experience with 3 other teams, and that's his home team. I think they're hoping that's going to regenerate him, but I think the only reason they hired him, one, is because he does have experience in the NFL with 3 teams, and it's his hometown.
I'm a little bit out of the loop this year. Towards the end, at the end of the year, simply I've kept up on some of the recruiting. I knew it was going to be a bust because of all the stuff that happened towards the end of the year. So I'm not going to dive into it like every year I normally do as a huge Miami fan, get my hopes up, and we'll be back this year. I'm just going to wait and see what happens when they get on the field because it's not worth it anymore. So I didn't even know he left till you guys said that. So all I know is there was supposed to be some changes happening once signing day was over, and I was waiting to see them. That's what I was waiting to see, what they were.
Hey, you can't give up the fight right now. There's no quit. You're quitting now? You can't quit.
Oh, no. I'll never give up the fight. I got an 8-hour tattoo on my back that ain't letting me give up the fight. So that ain't happening.
That's right.
I'm giving up the all off season long going nuts about it, and they got this guy, they got that guy, they got this guy. Can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait for the season to start, but I'm not going to dive into all the stuff that's going to happen in the meantime and all the hype anymore until they start doing what they're supposed to do on the field. That's all.
Okay, we do have Sirius in the building. Sirius, welcome to the round table. How you feeling this evening?
Yeah, I was good until I got here and started hearing all this black ass hurricane talk. I almost had to pull over and throw up.
You never know what Sirius is going to come out. What's going to come out of Sirius's mouth? It's always a pleasure.
What else are we doing this evening?
Okay, so Aaron, would you rather us talk about the Nittany Lions?
No, I ain't talking about that right now either.
Okay. Just making sure. I'm trying to suit you now. If you want, we can talk about the Nittany Lions.
I ain't talking about that right now.
Okay, pineapple. Pineapple. Okay. You came late. I'm trying to shut it down, man, and get everybody to do the closeouts. There's a lot of interesting stuff that you guys missed. One thing I do want to get out of you, Sirius, before we shut it down and then give me your closeout, your thoughts on Jerry Rice admitting that he cheated.
I don't even know what to think about it, man. It's unfortunate. My feelings on Jerry Rice, I can't say they are the same as they were prior to him coming out and saying that he used to stick him on his hands. Ultimately, my thing was this. The dude was still leaps and bounds greater than any other receiver in his time. And the thing that made Jerry Rice so great was the precision that he ran his route. Even if he didn't use the stick, defenders had a hard time covering this man because he ran his routes with such precision and such quickness that no matter if it was Steve Young or whoever was thrown on their rock, they were there. So I'll dive into that more another time because I was trying to the party, but it's unfortunate. But I still think he's still the greatest receiver to ever put on the uniform.
I don't know now. Now I feel some type of way. Now I feel some type of way. Like I said, you using Sikkim and you had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I don't know. We're saving that for another day. But give me a plug and close out as we shut it down. I got to get everybody out of here too, man. But give me a plug and close out as we shut down the kitchen here at the round table.
Yo, man, it's your boy Sirius up in that 412 and the 703, man. It was a pleasure to be with you guys for the last 30, 60 seconds or whatnot. Definitely check us out, man. We're doing some big things. SportsCityShots.com is the website. I promise we ain't going to be talking about hurricanes on the website because I'm going to shut that shit down. Man, it's a pleasure, man. It's your boy Sis, man. I'm gone.
Look at this. This is what I got to deal with.
I feel jealousy.
Exactly. Look, I wasn't even going to say that. He's still a little frustrated with Sandusky and Joe Pod and all of that other stuff. It's okay, man.
He ought to be nice to us. We gave him a national championship.
Listen, hold on. Life is harsh. Listen, Aaron, life is harsh, hug me. That's it. Life is harsh, hug me. That's all I'm going to say.
Say the rest of the line, though.
Listen, listen. If they want to go get the song "Ether" by Nas, it was put out in 2001. Listen, we go at it too much. Listen, you should have came here earlier and got your edition. I got some new callers on the line. Doggone it. I got Florida in the building and his family. That's the worst part. So I don't care. You can take out how you want it. I got orange and green in the building. Sorry.
Hey, don't worry, serious. We're gonna leave these dishes for you, brother.
Oh, you don't want that problem solved? Go work, man. I'll let you on better, man.
All right, brother.
All right. No. Listen. Okay, so now I got the senior Mr. Matty, if you will. So Mr. Matty, I don't even feel comfortable calling you by your first name, but if you know anything that you like to plug or promote, anything you got people following you or want people around here to hear, here's your time to close out. If not, then have a good Friday.
Hey, I appreciate that. Nah, I don't have anybody following me. I just got my family, which is all I need, bub. Just go Canes, and hopefully we right this ship because I'm tired of it.
Believe me, if I wanted to, I could start up a whole other show today and put up a segment talk about get rid of Golden. That'll be me. If there's nobody want to call in, I would be up there talking to myself, telling everybody how pissed I was at this coaching staff. So when you were speaking at it, it was like I was about to just say a whole bunch of like I was in the choir. So I'm thankful to have you call in. That's for sure.
No excuses, guys. It starts with me. But we fumbled the ball 3 times, and we had 3 guys on the offensive line on a 4th and goal. That's a press conference for you. Well, the guys didn't tackle. No excuses, guys. No excuses.
No excuses. That's right. Mr. Matty, as always, great hearing from you. Thank you again for calling in.
You guys have a good night.
Yes, sir.
You too. So to the junior Matty, if you will, since you brought some Florida in the kitchen, I'm happy, I'm proud that you brought the senior Matty here, man, and I hear some more of my family, so this is great. Anything that you like to plug, promote, anybody you like to shout out, here's your turn to shut down things here at the round table.
Hey, man, shout out to everybody on the show. It's always great talking to you guys, and obviously shout out my dad, my hero. Reason I'm sitting here right now. So, and then off topic, shout out to Mr. Al Golden. Hopefully, wake our damn team up. I'm tired of it, like most people out there.
Please, we're gonna have like a limit on how many times we say Al Golden because I'll be near dizziness, throwing up, nauseousness. Please,
hold it down, breathe, brother, breathe.
Just say our head coach or something like because I'm near ready to go down to South Beach and just grab that tie and just choke him. That's just me. I don't know. I don't want to say that's just me, man. Wear a sweatsuit or something. Enough of you with a button down and a tie. Stop it. Look like a coach on the doggone sideline. All right, let me get these guys out of here, man. We coming to wind down. Chad, anything that you like to plug or promote before we get out of here on the round table?
I got a couple of things. First, if you haven't followed State of the U, you need to do it now. Brings you the best University of Miami information of all sports on Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you check that out at stateoftheu.com on Facebook and Twitter. Secondly, thank you to all of our service members. We can't do what we do today if it wasn't for if it was not for what you're doing now and for what our past soldiers have done for us then. From the bottom of my heart and with all my being, you have my thanks, respect, and I'm here for each and every one of you if you need it. Logan and everybody else knows that. Secondly, cancer. I've said it before, does not discriminate. Does not discriminate upon age, race, financial, anything. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will be diagnosed with some form of cancer in their life. And I have officially been touched with 4 people in my life that have cancer at this moment. We only have so much time in this world. Make sure you take advantage of every single moment. Memories are what's most important, and that's what we leave behind. How do you want to be remembered? Keep that close to your heart. If you have feelings about somebody, tell them. If you love them, tell them, because you may not get another chance. Much love to all my chefs. Much love to all the followers. Much love to all the fans.
Wow. Epic stuff from a.k.a. C Sizzle. That's right. I put that together, people. But C Sizzle came with some heat. That's for sure. Mr. Knight, I know we got off to a bad start in the doggone green room before we started this show up, but we got this thing selling as best as possible. Give me a plug, close out anything you like to shout out before we shut it down, and leave my brother Logan alone, please. His father's here too, so this could get epically crazy.
So you let me follow Chad after he says that, and then you bring up Logan and his dad is here. Thank you, really. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Listen. I can't have no problems with these people. They family wanted to. I can't have them chasing after me. So I gotta let them do what they need to do. So this is how you get me back for what I said. I get it. Right, exactly. Look. Like I said, Karma is a bad little girl. If we weren't on air, I'll tell you what she really is. But she's a bad little girl. It was a lot of fun tonight, man. I'm glad everybody came. I don't, like I said, I'm not a Miami fan, but I do like talking college football, especially certain schools, because there's just certain schools that matter that should get talked about. Miami's one of them, whether you're a fan of Miami, whether you hate Miami. I need Miami to be good because you can't have a rivalry with the school if the school isn't winning. There's no fun being a rival of a school if that school's not doing well. And he's a Florida State guy, people. He's a Florida State guy. I'm a Florida State. But you can't have a rivalry unless both schools are doing well. Then it's not a rivalry. Then it's, your team sucks. Yeah, well, so does mine. Kind of a deal. But, like I said, had a lot of fun. Todd, make sure you give me that Skype number, and I'm just going to get ready for my trip. You can follow me on Twitter at Knight Chandler. I'll be overseas for the next week, so I'll be doing everything I do through Twitter. So look at me on Twitter because I'm going to be coming for you, Ty. I'm going to be coming for you.
Now, you got a little big brother here, too. Can't come at just one of them.
Right. And knowing I'm all over the place. I even got people in Switzerland, too. You know that. And now I got a Florida connection, too. Man, I'm all over the place. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like I said, Karma is a bad little girl. She is a bad little girl. I'm going to just let you know that. SportsCityChefs.com. Check out the website, the interviews, the blogs, the chefs. I'll be back here tomorrow, 12:30 p.m., a little bit afternoon. We'll be talking college basketball. So if you got a liking for the Kane basketball team, you can come here and talk about it. But I know we'll be throwing everything here. Me and Major are putting a premier show together for you here at Sports City, man. You already know the slogan. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's the chefs again. And if they don't know, now they know.
1, 2. Check me out right here, yo.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. Better now than never. Business before pleasure.